Good day and dangal greetings to everyone. On behalf of our professor, Sir Janus Raymontan, my group is going to present the implementation of our functionality for our midterm group Java project when it comes to our graphical user interface application, or what we call the library management system project. I am Joaquin Recio, so let's jump right into it. So welcome to our video for today. This is the following code that we will present to you and how it functions in our library management system, which uses the basic controls of a graphical user interface. So before that, guys, allow me to try or demo our library management system. So that's how our graphical user interface program works. Let's proceed to explain our graphical user interface program and how we function this program correctly for our library management system. So in this program, let's break down its main components and functionalities. So first, um, the code imports, which is this block of code. It is the various classes from the Java X Swing, java.util, java.io, and java.awt packages for creating graphical user interface components and handling events. Then when it comes to our class declaration, which is the public class Recio Group Library Management System that extends its JFrame, indicating that it's a graphical user interface application. Now in our instance variables, this block of codes declares various graphical user interface components such as text fields, checkboxes, buttons, and lists. Additionally, it declares lists to store books, members, and transaction logs, which is this code. Then, when it comes to our constructor, the graphical user interface components like labels, text fields, and checkboxes are created and added to the content pane, and they are positioned using the absolute positioning, which is the set bounds method. So here are the codes that I'm talking about. So they are positioned by the set bounds. Then when it comes to the interaction of the buttons, some action listeners are added to buttons for performing like actions like adding a book, adding a member, borrowing a book, returning a book, searching for a book, searching for a member, and displaying the transaction log. So here are the action performed methods. Then in the action methods, the action methods like add book, add member, borrow book, return book, search book, search member, and the display transaction log are defined to handle the actions performed by the following buttons that I have implement in my user interface. Then for the list initialization, which is this block of codes, the list for storing books, members, and transaction logs are initialized using array list. Then lastly, just this code is the J frame is centered on the screen using the set location relative that is relative to that is set to null. Then in overall, this code provides the basic structure for a library management system graphical user interface application, allowing users to perform actions such as adding books and members, borrowing and returning books, and searching for books and members. Now to continue our presentation in this block of code with the private add book method, which is this block of code. Let's proceed to Galzeleigh, Eliang, and I will see you at the end of the video.
This ad-book method is a part of a system, presumably a library management system, so where users can add new books. So here how it works. It retrieves input values from the text field for a new book's title, author, genre, and ISBN. It checks if the book is available based on whether a checkbox indicating availability is selected. It creates a new book object using the input values retrieved. It adds the newly created book object to a collection named Books. So it displays a message indicating that the book has been successfully added to the system. It logs the transaction recording the addition of the book. So overall, this method ensures that new books are properly added to the system, their details are recorded, and the user receives confirmation of the successful addition.
Good day everyone, I'm Kirsten Lazarte and I will be reporting about the add member method step by step. First, retrieving input methods or values. It retrieves the values for the new member's name, ID, contact details, and status from the UI components. The getText method is used to get the text input from text fields, and isSelected method is used to determine whether the checkbox is checked or not. Second, input validation. It checks if the name, ID, and contact details are not empty. If, if any of these fields are empty, it displays a message prompting the user to fill in all required fields and exits the methods early using the return statement. Third, creating a new member object. It creates a new member object using the retrieved values from the UI components. The member construction takes the name, ID, contact details, and status as parameters. Fourth, adding member to the list of members. It adds the newly created member object to the list of members stored elsewhere in the application. Fifth, displaying a message. It displays a message indicating that the member has been successfully added. This message includes details of the added member, such as name, ID, contact details, and status. 6. Logging the transaction. It logs the transaction by calling the transaction method, passing a string containing details of the added member. This ensures that the addition of the member is recorded for the tracking or auditing purposes. The next reporter will be Jaymart Impas. Thank you.
Greetings everyone. I am Jaymart Impas and this is my explanation. This code defines a method named borrow book which facilitates the borrowing process of a book from a library system. Here's a breakdown of how it works. User input. The user is prompted to enter the title of the book they want to borrow using a dialog box. Book availability check. The code iterates through the list of available books. If a book with a matching title is found and it is available, not already borrowed, it proceeds to the next step. Member ID input. The user is prompted to enter their member ID using another dialog box. Member search. The code iterates through the list of library members to find a member with the entered ID. If a member with a matching ID is found, the borrowing process continues. Otherwise, it displays a message indicating that the member ID was not found. Book borrowing. If both the book and member are found, the book's availability status is updated to borrowed, set to false, and the message confirming the borrowing transaction is displayed. Additionally, the transaction is logged in a transaction log. Error handling. If the book is not found or is already borrowed, or if the member ID is not found, appropriate error message are displayed. Transaction logging. The borrowing transaction along with relevant details such as the book, title, and the member's name is logged in a transaction log. Overall, this code implements a basic book borrowing functionality within a library system, handling user input, book availability, member identification, error cases, and transaction logging. The next speaker by Henrics Mateo.
My name is Henrics and Mateo. In the line 403, this code is from a method return book within a Java class that appears to manage library book transactions. The method starts by displaying an input dialog box to the user asking for the title of the book they wish to return. The title entered by the user is stored in the variable title to return. It then iterates over a list of books, which is presumably a field within the class to which this method belongs. This list contains object of type book. Within the loop, each book is checked to see if its title matches title to return, ignoring case differences using equals ignore case. Additionally, it checks if the book is not available. This implies that the book was previously borrowed and is currently unavailable. When a book that matches the search is found but is marked as unavailable, it indicates that the book can be returned. The book's status is updated to available, allowing it to be borrowed again. A confirmation message is shown to the users stating that the book has been returned again, and the return is recorded in a transactional log. Suppose a book that meets the specified criteria of title and availability is not found in the list. In the case, a message will be displayed indicating that either the book was not found or it has already been returned. This is communicated using the display message method. Additionally, there is an issue with the logging function. It references a variable book outside of its scope, which could cause a compile time error, and it inaccurately states that the book has been borrowed, which is incorrect in the context of return a book. The log transaction function contains error because it uses the book object and member get name outside of their valid scopes or without checking if they are defined, leading to potential compilation errors. Additionally, there are no transaction logs for scenarios where no book is found or the book has already been returned. The next presenter is Brenda Lazado.
Hi, I'm Brenda Lazado, and here is my code reporting to our group and to explain it. Okay. This is a Java method named searchBook that is used to search for books in a collection. Here's a breakdown of the method. String search term. This line code opens a dialog box that prompts the user to enter a search term. The search term could be a title, genre, author, or ISBN of a book. The entered search term is then stored in the search term variable. String builder. This line of code initializes a string builder object named search results. This object is used to construct the search results. The for loop iterates over all the books in the books collection. For each book in the books collection, it checks if the book's title, author, genre, or ISBN contains the search term. Case inserted. If a match is found, the book's information is appended to the search result string. After the for loop, the code checks if search term string is empty. No books were found that match the search term. If it's empty, it displays a message saying no book found matching the search term. If it's not empty, it displays the search term. The display method message is not defined in this code snippet, but it presumably displays a message to the user in some way. This method allows a user to search for books by title, author, genre, or ISBN and displays the search results. Thank you.
My name is Jennelyn and Magtibay from 1IT-B. Search member prompts a user to enter a search term, then searches for a member in a collection based on that term. It iterates through each member, checking if their name, ID, contact details, or active status matches their search term. If a member is found, it appends their information to a string builder. Finally, it displays the search result in the text area. If no members are found, it displays a message indicating that no members match the search term. Display message appends a message to the text area, which is used to display information and messages to the user. Our next speaker is Mr. Marc Alvin Quitorio.
Tangal greetings everyone. I am next as your presenter. I like to introduce myself. My name is Marc Alvin Quitorio. I'm here to explain this particular method that we have been discussing. First, we have display transactional lock parameter method. This method is responsible for showing the transaction lock to the user. Inside the method, we create a string builder object called lock and initialize it with a string transactional lock followed by a new line. Next, we have a loop that iterates over each entry in the transactional log list. For each entry is appended into the log object followed by a new line. After the loop, we use the JOption panel method to display the log as a plain message. The message box will have the title transactional log. Moving on to the log transactional with the string parameter message method. This method is used to log a transactional message to a text file. Inside the method, we add the message parameter to the transactional log list, which keep track of all the transaction message. Then we use a buffer writer and file writer to write the message to a file called transaction log text. After writing the message, we add a new line to the file to separate each transaction. In case there an IO exception during the writer process, we catch the exception and print the stock trace. And that's all. We have explained the display transactional log parameter and log transaction with string parameter message method.
Greetings everyone, I am Dela Cruz Kim Francis and I'll be representing this part of the code in our midterm project. Anyways, this code in our midterm project defines a book class in Java which represents a book with various properties such as title, author, genre, ISBN, and availability. It also provides methods to interact with these properties. Let's break down the code, shall we? Instance variables. It encapsulates information about a book using private instance variables. These variables include title, which stores the title of the book, author, which stores the name of the author of the book, genre, it represents the genre or category of the book, ISBN, which stands for International Standard Book Number, uniquely identifying the book, and lastly, available, a Boolean variable indicating whether the book is currently available for borrowing. Constructor. The class provides a constructor that initializes the book object with the provided values for its properties. This constructor allows for the creation of a new book instance with specific details including title, author, genre, ISBN, and availability status. The getter methods are used to retrieve the values of the instance variables. They provide controlled access to the private variables of the book class, allowing other parts of the program to obtain information about a book without directly accessing its variables. Each getter method corresponds to a specific property of the book. Setter method. The class includes a setter method, which allows the availability status of the book to be updated. This method enables external code to modify the availability of a book based on actions such as borrowing, returning, or purchasing. The string method is overridden to provide a customized string representation of the book object. By overriding this method, the class defines how an instance of book should be represented as a string when it is printed or converted to a string explicitly. The resulting string includes the book's title, author, genre, ISBN, and availability status, formatted for easy readability. That's the end of my presentation. Once again, I am De La Cruz Kim Francis of ITB. Now let's have Julius Natividad for the next presentation.
So, good day everyone. So, my name is Julius Natividad. So, I'm member of Mr. Recio. So, I'm presenting the library members with properties such as name, ID, contact details, and status or active or not. So here you can see all the codes for that. So let's start with the class member group. So here's the name, ID, contact details, and active. So here's naman how the volume will activate your status. Here's is name, ID, contact details, and active. Okay, here's the part where we return the all the input. So public string get name, return name. So here's the ID, contact details, and so forth and so on. So this part naman, here's this the part where overriding the string method to provide formatting string representing the members to override. So public string to string, return to name, last name, ID, contact details. So here's the code where it represents all the input of the users. So let's try running it. So here's the code. So member's name, member's ID, contact details. Okay. So let's start with my name, Julius, or ID. Here's my ID. Contact details. So okay. So let's add active status. Okay, add member. So you can see all the input of the users here. Members, Julius, ID, contact details, and active status. Let's try. Okay. Okay, let's try running it again. So you can see here all the input of the user has been put here. So yeah. So thank you for listening to me and my part. So and I'm now proceeding to Mr. Recio. Thank you.
So that concludes our presentation for our group, a library management system application using the basic graphical user interface components in its JFrame. I want to thank my professor, Sir Janus Raymontan, for this kind of concept that we made to have knowledge and background in JavaScript applications on our midterms for our computer programming tool. Once again, dangal greetings, Sir Janus, and have a good day.